Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by the shop, checking out what we got going on here again today. Today we got a little bit of a mail call, and we're going to pre-pull service plan B. Anyways, let's get to it. We'll get the camera set up there, and we'll do a little mail call, then we'll start servicing plan B. Alright y'all, let's start out with this mail call. I was out working in the shop a little bit ago, or a few days ago I should say, and Amazon truck pulled up. There's no return address or anything on it, just has my channel name and stuff on it, and I have no clue what's in this thing. I didn't order it, so let's you guys may see this, you may not, depending on what's in the bag here. It's a square box, it's a pretty good sized box, so, you know. And it's just a, there's no note or anything on it. Just a nondescript white box from China. Oh, I know what this is. This is one of them oil pumps for extracting oil out of like engines and stuff. I didn't even have this on my wish list. So yeah, there's the tubing to everything. I think this is for extracting. One's the outgoing. It's got a couple clamps in there. A couple alligator clips to put on the battery. This is going to come in handy because we're going to actually change oil on plan B today. So, yeah. This is just like what Twisted V-Twin Garage and I think Pate's Performance have something similar to it. So, yeah. Yeah, there's little caps there. So, well, whoever sent this to me, thank you. We're going to put her to good use, and we're going to get... we're going to change oil and stuff in this, so let me move some stuff around here, and we'll put this to use. Bring you all right back. Alright y'all, we're going to start out by draining the fuel system on this. If you guys watched my last pulling video, had some real bad issues. Mark and I both did with fuel. We were running the same fuel out of the same cans. So what we're thinking is we got some bad fuel. It either got moisture in it, or it was old, or something. But they didn't want to run right. So I'm gonna pull my fuel line off here if I can get it off here. This is some pretty grippy hose, but gotta cut this little zip tie here that holds the fuel pressure gauge, and then get this clamp off here. I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can cut this. I got a lot more of this hose laying around, but if I don't have to, I don't want to. But got that pushed back up there. Find a place to lay my screwdriver down. Yep. I think I just put a hole in that fuel line right there anyway, so yep. Like I said, that's some pretty grippy stuff, so we'll just go ahead and cut her off. Ain't no big deal. Like I said, I got plenty more. And then we're also going to pull the bowl on this. May end up pulling the whole carburetor off and going through it again just to make sure that, you know, we ain't got something going on the inside there. But there's that off there. Throw that up in there. Got me an old empty oil jug here, and I'll mark this that it's got methanol in it. But I mean, even smelling this stuff, it doesn't even smell like good methanol. So let me turn the key on here, turn the fuel pump on. There we go. Little clicky clack pump's just a click clacking away. So. Alright. That's it. There wasn't much fuel left in there. I'm going to get a knife, finish cutting that off there, and I think I'm gonna grab a wrench here and pull this float bowl off here. So yeah, give me a minute, guys, and we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll bring y'all right back. Alright, y'all, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and take this whole carburetor assembly off here. I'm going to start out, I'm going to pull this linkage off here. There we go. A few turns there. That cable will come out of there. That's loose. I don't got my little Kurt here. I'm having to lay stuff all over the place. So, I mean, these carburetors are easy enough to get off, so I decided just to go ahead and take it off. Go the right way, dummy. Dummy. Alright. Work that little seal loose right there. These don't have chokes in them, so there is no choke lever or anything. So there we go. Got her off there. I'll get this surface cleaned up here before we put her back together. But I'm going to thread these back on so I don't lose those. I don't want to lose those. But yeah, I'm going to pull this float bowl off here. Pull my rag stopper out of there. And there's a little bit left down in the bottom there, but yeah, there's still some in there. Yeah, and it don't even have that pungent smell that methanol is supposed to have. So I mean, this might be a waste of time, but you know, I'd rather be set than sorry. So we got a little bit of, well, I just dropped that. I'm going to have to find my float spring. We run float springs in these. Oh yeah, you guys can see that. Look at that. I got some garbage in there. I'll bet you any my money it's up there in that main jet and in this float. So, alright. Let me get this stuff turned around here. We'll get a place cleaned off over on the workbench, and we'll get back to working on this carburetor here on the bench. Get it all cleaned up. So y'all hang on just a minute. We'll bring you back. Alright, y'all. I actually dug my little cart out here because it's easier to sit here at the cart, do it, than stand over at the workbench. Plus my workbench has got Mark's engine on it, so I'm going to start out here with this main jet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually back that screw all the way out, if I can get a hold of it. There's that main needle, and it's crusty, and there's no orifices in this bowl nut. So as you guys can see, there's no orifices or anything in that. So we'll just clean that up a little bit, and then see if I can't get this float out of here. I may have to go get a punch or something to get that out of there, but so I definitely want to take that float needle out of there. And she's not moving, so we're going to work on that in a little bit here. I'm going to work on this, and this is a spring that's in the bottom of our pan, or bottom of our bowls, and what this does is it pushes up on the float there. I mean, it's not a real strong spring, I mean, it's real light, but what that does is it keeps the float from bouncing and shimmying while we're pulling and stuff. So, and I can actually see evidence of water in here in this fuel. So yeah, there was definitely water, bad fuel in that. I'm gonna put a little brake parts cleaner down in there, and then I got some Scotch-Brite here. I'll go in here and make sure that's all good and clean out of there. Go all the way around it. There is some staining in the bottom of this from, looks like some real old water. I don't know if I'll get that all out or not, but that's not really a big deal if it's staining. I just want to make sure all that nasty gummed up fuel is out of there. So yeah, she looks like she's pretty clean in there now. I'm going to take this here and I'm going to shoot. Oh yeah, she's a whole lot cleaner than what she was before. Like I said, it's just some staining down in the bottom there. Give me some rag and wipe that out real good, and I'll give you all a peek, show you what it is. Now these are different float bowls than what's on your normal Kohler carburetors. These are actually machined billet pieces. Then they TIG weld this. They make this and this separate, and then they TIG weld it together. So, but like I said, as you guys can see down in there, a little bit of staining, not a big deal. Looks like I might got a little bit over in this one corner here. I'm going to work on here. Yeah, that's just some staining over there too. Yeah, she ain't cleaning out, so. Alright, let me clean that out of there again. And wipe that out again. Good. Get all that remnants of that Scotch-Brite pad out of there. Alright, let's see if we can get the main jet out of here. Well, we got you all set up. Yeah, here comes the main jet. Yep, there's the main jet and the emulsion tube. Wow, looking down in there, it's really crusty. You guys can see it, and it has that white film on there. That show up on camera or not. But yeah, running on methanol, y'all, that's a big orifice in there. So we're not worried about junk. I'm more worried about the white crusties there. And again, I'm going to take another piece of this Scotch-Brite. We're going to polish that all up real nice. Get that all nice and clean up and out of there. And then I'm going to take a Q-tip. I'm going to run down the inside of that. Make sure that's all nice and clean. Ooh, look at that nasties, guys. That was some rotten fuel. That was some real bad rotten fuel. Get that Q-tip, go down in there. There we go. Oh yeah. If you guys notice, this emulsion tube has a little bit of a down cut to it. This part will face the throat, the inlet of the carburetor. When the air goes across it, it makes a low pressure and it'll suck the fuel in. So when we put that back in, we got to make sure that we get that seated right. And usually they're machined pretty good to where when they're tight, that's where they're at. So alright, and that main jet, if you guys can see that or not, it's got the same crusties on there. So a little more brake parts cleaner. Again, Scotch-Brite. We're going to polish it up good. Get that cleaned up really nice. And get a little bit more polish on here. I'm going to grab another newer piece here. Oh yeah, you guys can see that. That's nice and shiny now. Looks really good. Again, rinse it off. The brake parts cleaner. Give her a little wipe down. Oh yeah. Alright, I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to get this float off of here. What I'm going to have to end up doing is getting a little teeny punch, knocking that out, and then we'll get that seat out of there, that needle, float needle, inlet needle, get that out of there, and then we'll finish cleaning the carburetor. So we'll bring you all right back. Alright y'all, I couldn't find my little teeny tiny little punch that I usually use to get these out, so I got me just a small little screwdriver here. She moved. See if I can move it back the other way now. There we go. Usually once you get it freed up like that, they'll pull out of there fairly easy. Just got me a little pair of vice grips here. Just like that. Didn't even need the vice grips, but alright. There's that float. Yep, doesn't sound like it's full of anything, but oh my. Yeah, this thing here is crusty on the tip too. So we're going to get that cleaned up. We'll get that seat cleaned up in there. Make sure it's all nice and cleared out. And this is a breather tube here on this side here for the bowl. I'm going to shoot just a little bit down through that. Yep, she's good and clean. Yep. That's good. Shoot some down that emulsion tube. A little bit on the stem there. And we're going to polish this up here. Again, more Scotch-Brite. Now these are aftermarket carburetors. This is not an actual Kohler carburetor. It's made by Kohler or anything. It's aftermarket. So, alright, that looks good and clean. Give me another one of the Q-tips here. We're going to clean that up. Yep, that's all nasty. Now this does come out of here, but I've never had to take one out. I usually just clean them up good. And one thing I do, not here, you better not. Anyways, this is lapping compound for valves. I'll get just a little bit on the tip of the Q-tip there, and I'll stick that down in there, and I'll work that back and forth and around and everything, and make sure that seat's good and clean and smooth. You can't put them in a drill and do it, but I've never had to on this carburetor or this style carburetor. Usually just doing it by hand here is plenty good enough. You can see how it kind of conforms to the shape of the seat down in there. Just make sure there's no burrs or anything. And then good shot of brake parts cleaner through there. Cleaner again, another Q-tip here, just to make sure that all the stuff's out. Oh yeah, she's good and clean now. Alright, I'm going to run up in here and just make sure that this is good and clean, which it is. Kind of clean this out down in here a little bit, down here where the bowls, float and everything goes. Clean all around that. So now we're going to clean the float. Just again, check it, shoot it with a little brake clean. A little staining on the tip there, but it's not much. A little Scotch-Brite, just to make sure that it's not scarred up or anything. And then I will take a little bit of this lapping compound here, put on there, and a little bit of Scotch-Brite there. That just kind of helps. It's real fine. Just helps with the making sure it's good and smooth. Shoot her with a little brake clean, and I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but that thing is beautifully clean now. So we got that. Clean that off a little bit. I'm going to clean my pin off from my float, just to make sure there's no garbage anywhere floating around in this carburetor here. Alright, that looks really good. And then I'm just going to scuff this around just to make sure that there's no chunks or anything, old fuel or whatever on here. This is the float. That looks pretty good. Now we can start reassembling. So let me grab a rag and wipe that float off there a little bit. Alright y'all, I'm going to get this stuff cleaned up here. We're going to get ready to reassemble this carburetor, get rid of all the dirty stuff. We're all nice and clean, and when I get that done, we'll bring you back and we'll reassemble this thing. Alright y'all, and I want to apologize guys. I said that was the bowl vent. It's not. That big hole there is the bowl vent. This is your low speed or low idle circuit. That's where it picks up its fuel. Comes right up into there. Comes right into the throat of the carburetor on the back side of the throttle plate. So I just want to apologize. I misspoke there. I don't want anybody, you know, don't want to tell anybody wrong. So I'm going to drop that float needle back down in there. Get this pivot pin here put back in there. Get it started. There's that. Through that one, through that one. There we go. We're just going to tap it over a little bit with this wrench. Because it is knurled on the one end there a little bit. So it'll stay in there. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, gave it the blow test there. She seats off, so that's what we want. Next we're going to put the main jet back in there. Get it started there. Now these are all real fairly simple carburetors. Especially these ones we use for pulling, because there's no choke in them. Just the one big idle circuit there. Alright, that thing should be just about set. And yep, there we go. I don't think I can show you all on camera. The throat of these, the Venturi is right in front of the main pickup here. So where I showed you that main jet, it's clipped off to match that Venturi, because it comes in like this and it opens back up. So that main jet, or the emulsion tube, whatever you guys want to call them, don't come up into the carburetor like on standard carburetors and stuff. They're real low on these, so that we get maximum flow. And being that it's so big, it still picks up plenty of fuel. So there's all that. Next, just gotta put my main jet back together here, and I'm just gonna start it in the bottom nut there. And there is no right way or wrong way to put this on. It just goes down in and sits against the gasket that's in there. And that, whoops, you all let me forget that. Can't forget my spring. Just set that spring on that float like that. What am I doing wrong? There we go. Alright. Make sure that sits down in there. Get this started down in there. And as with regular carburetors and stuff, you don't have to herc this bottom bowl nut on. Just snug good. But yep, there we go. Yep, she's blow through her that way, not that way. So alright, there we go. Next thing I'm going to do, get my little vicey grips out here, and I'm going to put it on this bottom here. Now usually there's a T on the bottom of these, but with these intakes, the way they're designed, the way the intake is, you got to take that off there because it's too close to the head. These carburetors are actually designed to go on the K-series engines, not the V-twins, but they rejet them and everything and resize them to make sure that they'll run on the K-series, so, or the twin series. So I'm just going to real gently run that in. She's coming to the end there, almost. I gotta get my wow, this one I must have cut this one off extra short. because she is really, really short. Alright. Yeah, I cut her off good and short, didn't I, guys? She's right up in there, so I'm going to back this out. I like to go about 2.5 turns. There's half. 1, 1.5, and 2. We'll go another half. So, alright. There we have it. That's all opened up, ready to go. I'm going to get a little sealer. I don't run a gasket on this. I put just a small thin bead of RTV, or it's actually methanol safe sealer. Put it on there and let it tack up, and then we'll get her back on there. So let me get that ready, and we'll get the camera moved back around, and we'll get this carburetor back on here. Alright, y'all. I got this surface all cleaned up here. I do got a little sealer added to the back side of the carburetor there. Get that started on there. Got my nuts here. These nuts. I think this is the hardest part of this whole job, is getting my big fingers in there. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Maybe you can now. Getting the nuts started on there, because you gotta get the nuts started on before you put the carburetor all the way back on. There's not enough room from the end of the stud to the part of the carburetor there that kind of blocks it. Wiggle it in there a little bit more, get a little bit more room. Alright, there we go. Just slide that back in against there. Finger tighten them up against that. There's that. Grab my little 1/2-inch wrench here. Just snug it up here on this side a little bit. Snug it up on that side a little bit. Come back to this side. That way we're pulling it down nice and even. We're not warping that mounting flange or anything. Just keep working. I keep working back and forth until I feel it's good and tight. Good and tight. That German word again. Alright. There she is. She's torqued to factory specs. Excuse me. Next thing is, got my throttle cable put back in here. I think this is the second hardest part, because I got to make sure that that's still twisted up there, which once they get clamped in there once or twice, they get kind of fuzzy. They don't like to slide up in there real easy, but alright. I got that one there. Grab my little Allen wrench here. I need to grab my channel locks here. I'll put them at to hold that, so keep it from spinning. Now I'll get my Allen wrench back out of there. There we go. Give that a little tug, and I will have to readjust my throttle there a little bit, because every time we pull them apart they change a little bit, but ain't no big deal. We have the technology, we can do it. A little extra bend in my throttle spring there. So Get that hook back up and around here. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Get it all twisted up in there like it's supposed to be. Hopefully. End of the spring's caught underneath the armor. There it goes. Alright. There's that. That's hooked on there. And of course I did it backwards, so now I gotta take her back off there. Why'd you guys let me do it backwards? I know, you've never done this before. You don't know what you're doing. So alright. I think we got her now. We're going to be cooking with gas now. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. No? Alright, I'm having a heck of a time. I'm going to shut this camera off, y'all, and get this spring hooked on there. Y'all are making me nervous, so we'll bring you right back. Alright, y'all. Got her now. She's pulling back to idle. She's going all the way full throttle. That's what we want. You know, I might have a little bit of excessive play in the throttle, but it'll be all right. So, all right. Like I said, got that all taken care of. So, there's that. There's that. Now we need a piece of fuel line, which you got right here. You guys can't see over here, but I'm just gonna stick her on the, say that. I gotta go get some hot water. I forgot. This stuff's real stiff, so I gotta go get some hot water, and we'll I mean, it'll slide right on that one, but I need to get some hot water because this is a little bigger fitting than this pipe. So, alright, I'm gonna go do that, get that warmed up, and then we'll bring y'all back. Alright, y'all, I ended up just ended up using my MAP gas torch and putting a little bit of heat on her, and she slid right down on there, so we got that. And now we just need to cut it to length, which about right there. Get out my big old cutters here. That cuts most of it. Those aren't the sharpest things in the well, they're sharp, but they're not tight together. I cut them little fibrous hairs that are on there, so got that. Slap my clamp on there, and then just need to work that up on there. There's that. Make sure I can read my fuel gauge, fuel pressure gauge here. So I need to rotate that hose just a little bit on there. So yep, there we go. That'll work right there. I can read it. And I will take a zip tie and zip tie it on there so it's kind of steady. Still hard to read, but alright, we're getting close to being able to just dump some fuel in this thing and see if she'll light off. So alright, that's it. Get my plug out of there. There's that. Like I said, I'll grab a zip tie there and zip tie that back out of the way so it kind of holds steady. And I can still read my Still read my fuel pressure gauge, everything. So yeah, next thing is dump a little bit of fuel in the tank, get her primed up, and we'll see if this thing will light off. I'm gonna get the camera set back there, and we'll see if this thing will fire off. So let me get that all taken care of and bring y'all back. Alright y'all, moment of truth. I got the fuel in the tank, got the pump all primed up, got the bowl full. I don't see any leaks or anything coming down out of there, so I guess the only thing next to do is to make sure she's not in gear, and we'll fire her off here. Alright, like I said, I didn't put a whole lot of fuel in her. Yep, I think my battery's going dead, guys, but I think we got her. So we're going to go ahead and pull the oil out of it, get that changed, throw the battery on charge, and I think we'll be good to go. So, alright y'all, got that new oil extractor all set up and everything. I did put a little black tape around it, kind of measured down to the bottom of the block down there. Got me a waste oil jug sitting here, got it hooked into the battery, and let's see if we can, oh, there she comes. I don't know if that shows up on camera or not. Let's see here if I can get this adjusted. That is a lot of methanol running down through that. That's why we change oil every time after we get done with the poles. You know, a couple quarts of oil is a whole lot better than a messed up engine or something. So. Alright, this thing's so loud, I'm going to just let it run and bring y'all back when we get all that oil sucked out of there. Alrighty y'all, that didn't take very much time at all. You know, I think I got most all of it out. Like I said, I had that thing set down in there so that that hose is kind of twisted. My other pneumatic one that runs off air, I've got a metal piece of brake line that I've made up that I know goes right down to the bottom of the engine. I'll probably do the same thing for this too, but yeah, let me turn this back on one more time here since I reinserted it there. Oh, I'm getting a little bit more there. That is the one thing I do like about my pneumatic one. It's got kind of a clear jug that you can see through, and I know how much I've actually pulled out. So, alright, she's pulling. I'm gonna let this run, and once I'm sure all the oil's out of this, we'll bring y'all back. Alright, y'all. Got all the old oil sucked out. I put a little bit of fresh oil down in it to kind of get the bottom of the tank air, make sure there's nothing, not too much laying in the bottom. And she's sucking air now, so I'm gonna. Oh, I pushed her down just a hair, and we're getting just a little bit more. Still getting some air bubbles, but we're pretty close to being done. So I'm gonna get the camera around, move her around, and we're gonna dump some fresh oil in her, and we'll retest fire her. Alright y'all, got all that old nasty oil out of there. Getting ready to dump some fresh stuff in there, and we'll we'll and this is, again, this is what we use. This is the Schaefer's racing oil. It's got extra zinc and stuff in it. It's an SAE 30. Really good stuff. Really impressed with it. I've been using Schaefer's products now for going on over 20 years. So, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can do this without a funnel. Get every last drop of that goodness out of there. And there's one. And by the way, I did look on the jug that I was putting my used oil in before I added some oil to the crankcase to flush it out. I had a little over 2.5 quarts. If you guys know these Kohler commands, they take just under 2 quarts, or right about, we run 2 quarts in them. A little more is nothing bad. So I'd rather be a little safer than sorry. Alright, there's that. Let me grab my dipstick. First let me grab a rag to wipe that off there. I'm going to grab my dipstick here. Make sure it's good and clean. I'll stick it down in there. Wait a second. Pour it back out. And we are good. Yes, 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 we are good. Now this motor is tipping downhill just a hair, but yeah, alright, there we have it. Before I crank her over, I do have a new oil filter. I'm going to throw a new oil filter on it, and then we'll retest fire this thing and make sure she's going to run good. So, alright. Alright y'all. My little catch tub down in here, catch my any drippings that I happen to get. So spin that off there. Make sure that the gasket comes with it. Ooh. So I'm gonna grab a rag, new filter, and wipe that off, and we'll get the new filter put on. There you go. I'm gonna wipe that base off there where that goes in there. Wipe the underside off where it drips. Set that down there. Got my new Napa Gold, not a sponsor, oil filter. It is a 1056 standard size oil filter for all your Kohler engines, your Kohler commands. So there it is. We got her all. Got the oil all changed, got the carburetor all cleaned up, ready to go. Let me back you guys up just a hair, and we'll test fire this thing again. Hey y'all, we're ready to test fire this thing again. Make sure my fuel's turned on. Primer up. Alright guys, that battery's going dead, so we're not gonna, I'll charge it back up, I'll retest fire. Sorry about that, it's picking season around here. The big trucks are running up and down the road hauling that hauling the grain. So as I was saying, I'll get the battery charged up, we'll get this thing retest fired, make sure everything's all good to go, and we'll be ready to pull. So, alright y'all, there you go. Got plan B all ready to go to the tractor pulls. Got the oil change, got the carburetor all cleaned up, got the fuel system all cleaned out. Like I said, just got to charge the battery, and we're ready to hook. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Little insight of what we go through after a pull. Like I said, that oil change is after every pull. We do flush the fuel systems out. At least I do. I flush the fuel system out after every pull. I'll use a little WD-40, pump it through the system. It kind of cleans all that fuel and everything out of there. But like I said the last time, Mark and I, now we know. I mean, I know just from the way it was running and when I did start it up that that old fuel was bad. As little as we had it running in here, my eyes were burning, my throat was burning. I actually had to open all the garage doors and stuff up to get it aired out. I couldn't stand to be in here, and with that old fuel, it wasn't nowhere near that bad. So yeah, it was probably some old fuel, probably from last year that where we bought it from. Just had it there, but you know, it is what it is. Learn, live and learn, and that's it. So again, I want to say thank you to whoever sent me that oil extractor. Come in handy today. I really appreciate it, and we're gonna go do some pulling. So appreciate it. If y'all like the video here, please give me a thumbs up. It is absolutely 100% guaranteed free to you. Doesn't cost you a dime. All it takes is just a couple seconds. Reach down there and bink, hit that little thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, one of the first videos you ever watched, please go over to the side there, hit the bell, hit the all button. You know, that way you'll get all the notifications for everything I do. You know, here in the garage, at the pulling track, even in the kitchen there when I'm doing my cooking with the bear segments. So that'll do it for today, guys. Really appreciate it, and I know I'll be at the next one. Hope to see you all there too. Bye.